Hi all, myself Anita Chako, Assistant Professor, Department of AC, Vedavyasa Institute of Technology. Today I am going to give a short talk on the concept green building and energy harvesting. First, let's see what is green building. A green building is a building that in its design, construction or operation reduce or eliminate negative impact and can be create positive impact on our climate and natural environment. Green building preserves precious natural resources and improve our quality of life. So, let's see the component of a green building. First one is the energy harvesting. Then next one is water efficiency, environmentally preferable building material, toxic reduction, wastage reduction, indoor air quality, smart growth and sustainable development. So, let's see more about first component, that means energy harvesting. The concept of energy harvesting has been around for over a decade, especially in case of building automation system, sensors, thermostat, etc. A building that is energy efficient and streamlined help to reduce energy costs while also provide a productive environment for the workers within them. Now, let's see some of the regulatory bodies in India which give the rating for the energy efficiency of that buildings. First of all, we see Indian Green Building Council, IGBC. Next one is Bureau of Energy Efficient India, BE. The next one is Griha, Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. The last one, LEED, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. According to IGBC, all non-emergency exterior and common area lighting should have at least one daylight sensor or occupancy sensors. In case of Griha, optimize energy conservation or daylight control for daylight area or daylight control for 50% of lighting load or occupancy sensor for 70% of lighting load. Next, now let's see the fundamental of a census. The fundamental functions of a census are daylight level control, dimming control, scheduling control, occupancy and vacancy control. First, let's see daylight level control. Let's consider the example of a prayer hall or conference hall which functions from early morning to late night. The daylight level control sensors have 2 point switch on level and switch off level. The switch on level below which the light will be on. The switch off level above which the light will be off. These 2 points are prefixed based on the light intensity available in the room. For example, in this room at early morning when people start coming, the lights are manually on. In early morning when the lux density is below the switch on level, the light will be on. After some time, the lux density is on the switch off level, but the light will be on. Again, after some time, the lux density is below between the switch on level and switch off level. At that time, light will be on. After some time, the lux density or light density is above the switch off level, then the light will be off and it continues. Next one is the dimming control. The total lux density in the room is maintained with the combination of natural light and the electrical light. When the natural light is not sufficient to meet the fixed lux level in the room, the sensors will adjust the brightness of a electrical light to maintain a fixed lux or light intensity level in the room. When there is a sufficient natural light, the sensors will switch off the electrical light. Next one is the schedule control. As the name indicates, the light in a certain area is scheduled to be on or off at a fixed time. Next one, vacancy control. In vacancy control sensors, light in an area is manually switched on when in use, and it will be automatically off when that area is vacant after the use. The last one is occupancy sensors. In occupancy sensors, the light in area will automatically on when people are present and will be automatically off when everybody leaves. Now, let's see some of the detection technology used in it. First one is the peer sensors. Peer sensors detect the occupancy through the difference between heat emitted by body in motion and surrounding. It is used to obstacle-free area and avoid heat sources. It's best suited for occupancy detection, driveways, entrance, car parking, storerooms. Next one is the ultrasonic sensors. Ultrasonic sensors operate by transmitting ultrasonic sound wave throughout an area and measuring the speed at which they come back. It should be used in enclosed area that are obstacled by obstacles. It's best suited for the motion detection and driveways, entrance, car parking and storeroom. Next one is the dual sensors. The sensors switch on the light when both sensing technology detect the presence and keep lighting on as long the technology continue to detect. Combination of peer and ultrasonic technology to benefit from the strength of both while eliminating their weakness. It's best suited for the motion detection and occupancy detection. The next detection technology is microwave sensors. A microwave motion sensor uses electromagnetic radiation. It emits waves which are then reflected back to the receiver. The receiver analyzes the waves that are bounced back. If there is an object moving in the room, these waves are going to be alternated. It can be used for covering a very large area. It's best suited for the motion detection. Okay. Anyway, we can understand that the energy harvesting is the one of the important component of a green building, and energy harvesting sensors play very important role in it. Okay, thank you.